It's July 1979 and disco records are literally getting blown up on a baseball field. The media calls it the death of disco. But on the west side of Chicago, in a dark warehouse with a heartbeat of its own, something new is forming. A DJ is turning grief into groove, and from the ashes of disco, a new sound rises. Welcome to house music. Born in a warehouse, built for the world. Tonight we're heading to Chicago in the late 70s. Disco has just been declared dead, and the clubs are starting to lose their spark. But in an old industrial building on Jefferson Street, a visionary club owner and a young DJ are about to change dance culture forever. This is the story of how one space gave birth to a global movement. So buckle up, we're going from a little after-hours club to a worldwide phenomenon, one steady kick drum at a time. Our story starts in 1977. A New Yorker named Robert Williams looks around Chicago's club scene and thinks, we can do better. So he rents this old 3-story factory building at 206 South Jefferson Street and turns it into an after-hours dance club called The Warehouse. But this isn't just another club. For Williams, it's a mission to create a space where everyone feels safe and seen, especially Black and Latino gay men who were often excluded elsewhere. At The Warehouse, community mattered more than attitude. The dance floor itself was freedom. From midnight Saturday until well past sunrise, hundreds of people packed into the darkness. Just $5 at the door, free juice and water all night. The vibe was electric, and more than that, it was welcoming. In a city where so many felt shut out, The Warehouse said, come as you are and leave lighter than you came. It felt almost spiritual, a kind of church where the sermon was the beat. Williams knew if this was going to be a sanctuary, it needed a sound system worthy of worship. So he brought in the pros to custom build one, so it was tuned warm, powerful, and clear enough to shake your chest without hurting your ears. Now all he needed was the right person to bring it to life. Williams wanted his friend Larry Levan from New York to DJ, but Levan stayed behind at Paradise Garage. Instead, he suggested someone else, a Bronx-born DJ with impeccable taste and a calm magnetic presence, Frankie Knuckles. So Frankie moves to Chicago in 1977, steps into the booth at The Warehouse, and slowly starts to change his sound. And with that, the entire mood of the city's nightlife. At first, The Warehouse isn't packed. Some nights, maybe 10 or 20 regulars show up. But Frankie plays like it's a full house every single time. His sets are a journey, from Philly strings to Chicago soul, Italo disco, European synths, and even gospel. He would mix it all together into one steady, hypnotic pulse. That 4-on-the-floor heartbeat that never stops. What makes Frankie special isn't just the records, it's how he tells a story. He'll stretch a breakdown for what feels like forever, then bring the vocals back at just the right second and send the whole room into orbit. He's not just mixing songs. Frankie used to literally remake tracks on the fly. So looping grooves, adding percussion, and even dropping in a train sound at 5 a.m. just to mess with people's heads. It's remix culture before anyone even had a name for it. Slowly but surely, word gets out. The Warehouse becomes the place to be. Lines form down the block, and inside it's pure energy. People from everywhere, so every background, all moving together. Out there, the world's divided by race, money, and class. Inside The Warehouse, none of that even mattered. Pretty soon, record stores around the city start labeling bins as heard at The Warehouse. Say that enough times and you get house. The word sticks, and the sound it describes is already taking shape. July 12, 1979 is called Disco Demolition Night. A radio stunt turns into a riot. Thousands rush the baseball field chanting "Disco sucks." Records are set on fire, the press eats it up, and the industry panics. Overnight, labels drop disco artists, radio stations change formats, and disco is declared dead. But underground, disco doesn't die. It evolves. Frankie Knuckles keeps the heartbeat alive. He strips away the fluff, loops the grooves that work, adds a touch of electronics, and makes it raw again. It's no longer shiny and polished. It's honest. It's the rebirth. House music, or as some people called it, disco's revenge. The 4-on-the-floor and the gospel vocals stay, but now there are drum machines, tape edits, and repetition that feels like therapy. By 1983, The Warehouse closes its doors, but the movement keeps growing. Frankie opens his own club, The Power Plant. Robert Williams opens the Music Box, handing the decks to Ron Hardy, a DJ who pushes sound to the edge, fast, loud, and intense. A new wave of producers starts to follow their lead. Jesse Saunders releases On and On, the first house track pressed to vinyl. Frankie Knuckles teams up with Jamie Principle to make Your Love, A track that feels like a heartbeat turned into melody. House music doesn't wait for big labels. It spreads hand to hand. Test presses sold from car trunks and local shops. The clubs are the testing grounds. The dancers are the A&R team. If the crowd screams, it's a hit. And that's how the house movement was built. One record, one dance floor, and one night at a time. Cue up the machines. As seen in the previous episode, the 808 had already changed electro. But for house, it was the Roland's TR-909 that changed everything. That kick was punchy and round, the hi-hats sharp and bright, and the hand clap, honestly, iconic. When you programmed it, it didn't sound like a human drummer. It sounded tighter, bolder, and more alive. So there's one story people still talk about. Derek May was visiting from Detroit and walks into Frankie's booth carrying a 909 telling him, "This box is the future." Frankie buys it on the spot, takes it home, and figures out every sound it can make. Then he brings it back to the club and runs the 909 under the disco records he's spinning. Kicks, hats, claps, all perfectly in sync. And suddenly, these classic disco tracks have a brand new backbone. The dance floor hears the past and the future working together seamlessly. House music has always been about doing more with less, so innovation on a budget. Most of these DJs were using second-hand gear, drum machines, synths, whatever they could find. The process was simple. Program a beat, loop it, play with mutes and filters, test it live, record it to cassette, and if it moved people, press it to vinyl. The club was the lab and the crowd was the test. The feedback was immediate. And now, finally, the technology was keeping up with the imagination. And right there in the background sat another little machine, the TB-303. Nobody knew it yet, but that silver box was about to start a whole new revolution. Acid house. That's a story for another time. For now, the 909 and 808 have become the heartbeat of Chicago. Precision meeting passion, human energy running on machine rhythm. House wasn't just a new sound, it was permission. It carried on disco's promise of freedom for everyone who didn't fit anywhere else. Queer, black, Latino, anyone pushed to the edges. In those rooms, all the labels disappeared. No judgment, no fear. No, you don't belong here. There was no gatekeeping like sometimes nowadays. That's actually where rave culture comes from. The message was simple. You are safe here. The dance floor became one of the most diverse, inclusive spaces in America. Black and white, gay and straight, rich and broke, all moving together to the same kick drum. If society said, fit in or stay out, house music said, come as you are and turn it up. By 1985, house music is spreading fast. Chicago DJs are trading mixes with New Yorkers. Across the Atlantic, DJs in London and Ibiza are importing Chicago vinyl and spinning them for packed European crowds. Tracks like Your Love, Land Overseas and Stick. They become anthems. Within a few years, Europe's saying a loud, joyful yes to house. House starts seeping into everything. Pop stars get remixed for the dance floor, fashion shows walk to 404 beats, and the radio fills with diva vocals and deep bass lines. And decades later, the pioneers, the queer, black artists who built the scene from the ground up finally start getting their flowers. This isn't nostalgia, it's the world catching up to the truth. House music didn't just change sound, it changed culture. In less than a decade, a club and a DJ turned loss into creation. From the ashes of disco demolition came a rebirth, the warehouse, and with it, a new way of thinking about nightlife. It wasn't just about escape anymore. It was about community first, about sweat as a kind of ritual, and about machines serving emotion instead of replacing it. By 85, the blueprint was set. The sound had a name, a pulse, and a growing pile of vinyl spreading across the world. Every dance floor that came after, from Chicago basements to Berlin warehouses, carried a piece of what started here. A place to let go, to feel free, to be unburdened. The warehouse isn't just a memory, it's a landmark. Literally, the city of Chicago finally admitting that what happened inside those walls changed everything. By the end of 1985, pressure's building. House is ready to leave home, to hit Manchester warehouses, London pirate stations, Ibiza beaches, and Midwest raves. The revolution that started in one Chicago warehouse is about to go global.